Hello everybody and welcome to a brand new video with me, Sherman. I know I haven't been doing a lot of videos lately and I do apologize. I've just been kind of busy with real life stuff. And I'm not gonna lie, I've been doing a lot of pen and paper, Dungeons and Dragons, Shadowrun recently, started getting back into that, and a few other games. I've been running a lot of my own private sessions and I've just been having a blast enjoying that. And I've been working a lot on quests. So I run 3 campaigns, and I've been really focused on getting those stories down, getting those, getting my players like involved and stuff with it. And it's been a lot of work. But I do want to get back to doing videos on ESO, and I do want to cover this. So this is the Update 27 combat preview, and this will be coming with the next DLC, which they will be live streaming today, that release. So that's really cool. I can't wait to see that. But it says, "Hi everyone, today we'd like to present what we're focusing on regarding combat in Update 27. As always, be aware, these are just the current proposed adjustments and subjects to change during the PTS cycle, while ongoing focus on overall server client performance for combat. We are continuing to audit of item sets for this round. We are continuing the item set adjustments we started in Update 26, and as you've come to expect the DLCs, there will be several new sets to acquire from the new dungeons. So the new DLC coming out, this next one, is going to be a dungeon DLC, which will include 6 new sets and 2 monster sets. So it'll be 2 light sets, 2 medium sets, 2 heavy sets, and then 2 monster sets. Trying to work around the 300 plus gear sets that are already in the game, and then adding more on top of it, it expands the options available to the players on what they can use. So I get why they're doing this audit, especially when they add 6 new sets. We're also doing some class adjustments from long-standing player requests and outliers. As a reminder, we are currently addressing class abilities on a singular basis and not as a whole package just yet. This means class reworks are not in the cards in this update, but other adjustments will be made to help with server client performance and functionality that may be missing in various class kits. So basically they're adjusting class skills to have better performance. They're not adjusting class skills to change how they work, just how they perform and how they work with the server, basically performance-wise. So we're not getting as many lag spikes and different things like that with the use of so many different skills on the screen. Performance. So last year we started the process of adjusting abilities to be more performant on the server client, ensuring they follow standards to eliminate over and underperforming situations. In Update 26 we applied standards and these performance adjustments to monster helms and arena weapons. In Update 27 we are continuing the long process by conforming most of the remaining item sets. As an example of performance adjustments, many proc chances are being removed and will now apply on specific triggers with a timer, which is really good because it takes away the server having to go, oh, which set does it, what does this proc, when does it proc, and all that, and it has to calculate all this stuff. Now it's not going to. It's going to be an automatic thing, which is going to be great for server performance. As an example, the performance adjustment and reproduction, blah blah blah. As such, to have the ability to conform to standards, the effect of the proc will be adjusted to be stronger or weaker depending on the timer and the trigger condition, which I'm fine with them making adjustments to certain things. Below are a couple of examples of things that they're making changes to. So Trial by Fire, the set, needed serious adjustments. No offense to the devs. We have too many sets that had certain awkward requirements. This is one of them. So before Trial by Fire, this set will no longer grant resistances to unique types of damage categories such as flame, frost, poison, blah blah blah. Instead, it will grant you armor while under the effects of any elemental status effect, such as burning or poison. So any elemental status effect is going to proc armor resistance on you, which is awesome, because now it's like you've got this set that when you get hit by an effect, you gain resistances against that effect, which reduce the incoming damage you take. This is going to be a great change for this set. Excuse me, guys. Don't mean to be coughing so much. But I don't know. I'm not even going to get into it. So, standardization, related example, Armor of the Veiled Heritance. This set will grant 516 weapon damage after interrupting a target, up from 400. This set will also permanently increase the damage of your bash attacks by 516. So these are the changes, will be retroactive and won't need to refarm gear for these adjustments. Now, a lot of people were mad about the adjustments they made to the Maelstrom weapons because they had to go refarm them, and the master weapons, which is fine. Some of these sets, though, are so easy to come by that it's it would be stupid not to do this. Master Maelstrom is a different story, so I understand why they had you go refarm them, even though a lot of people didn't like it. Alright, so now they're moving on to classes and skills, and it says each class will be receiving some minor adjustments based on the need for performance adjustments, feedback received, or emergent concerns over the past year. This includes adjustments to active abilities and passives in certain cases. Again, these are not wholesale changes to an entire skill line when it comes to class adjustments, only individual abilities. A good example of this is the adjustments being made to the Necromancer skill, Grave Grasp. Currently, this skill shot isn't seen as a very useful or least used ability in the Necromancer kit. We've adjusted the ability to be more performant with a slight change in functionality, so it'll be used. It will use 3 areas, but each area will have escalating values of crowd control, starting with a snare to stun, which is understandable. I'll admit that skill wasn't widely used by a lot of in-gamers, but it was used by a lot of people. I in fact was running around with a Necromancer yesterday. He was using it quite a lot. Additionally, we are moving Vigor to the first slot of the skill line to help players acquire a highly desired ability much sooner. With this change, simply completing the introduction of Cyrodiil Quest will award you enough alliance points and rank in the skill line to unlock Vigor, which is great, because Vigor is a skill that a lot of stamina users want to get, but a lot of people don't like doing PvP. So this just gives them a chance to do it, get it done, and then earn the skill, so they don't have to go back to earn it, to earn it again. Another one is Caltrops. A lot of people like to use Caltrops because it applies a major fracture. But now that's still going to be in the same place, but that one I can understand being more of a challenge to get. Vigor, not so much, because it's just a burst, like a group heal AoE thing. It's a really nice skill. And then it says, thank you for reading this preview. And again, Combat Team is continuing our focus on performance adjustments, continuing the audit process, and making individual ability adjustments to address long-standing player concerns. We look forward to having anyone playtest these changes and on the PTS next week, and reading your feedback when it launches. So it's coming next week. the next DLC, the Dungeon DLC, will be on PTS next week. It comes out in August. Sometime around the 1st of August, and then we'll see the release of the next one in November. So it's really interesting that in my opinion, that we're getting some changes to some armor. Hopefully some of the other armor changes is good. I want to see the patch notes before I give my total thoughts, but just by looking at the Trial by Fire, that's a great change to it. And Veiled Heritance, I'm not going to say it's a good change or a bad change, but it's adding the 516 weapon damage to bash attacks is needed, because now you got a set that's designed to work with this. Okay, I got this sword and shield build I want to play. Now I've got a set that's going to work with me using the bash, the shield bash. So I got this, I can do that. Bam, bam, bam. That's really cool that they did that they added a set that gives you that unique benefit. And again, remember, a lot of these changes are incoming, but doesn't mean they're 100%. These are like ideas of things that they're working on. So we'll have to wait until the patch notes come out, and then we'll have to wait, of course, till the 5th patch note release. But remember, whatever you see on the first patch notes release isn't necessarily the main thing you need to look at. It's the 3rd PTS patch notes release, which will be the defining factor in what's changing and what's not. And then there won't be any the rest of it's just minor adjustments with things. There's never any more major changes than the 1st and 3rd one on the PTS. So I'm glad that they're doing this, that they're informing us ahead of time on some of these changes that are coming. I feel like it really helps. And for those who've asked, wanted to know if I'm playing the game, yes, I do play the game. I just I haven't had a lot of time lately to play. But now that I have more time open, because I spent a lot of time planning out like a bunch of these campaigns that I've been doing in D&D, so I have time to play. So I've been playing a lot more, and I've really been enjoying my time in Greymoor, and the Greymoor chapter has been amazing. Probably the best. And I'm not trying to sound harsh here about the rest of the chapters they've come out with, but when I say best, length of story, best. Like, the length of the content has been great, because it's been very interesting to go in and out of these different locations, and every time you go out, it seems like you're running across new quests in the overland, and then you go back to the city, and then you go back out to the overland, and you're exploring this area, and you come across this other quest, and it's like, wow, even though I know that quest is there all the time, it was really interesting to come across some of these quests in the story process and do them, and then just kind of let it play, let the game play itself in a way, like just following the main story and letting myself hit these side quests and do them, and then come back to the main quest and finding out that some of those main quests and side quests actually interacted really well together. And I think that's something that's really cool about Greymoor. The other thing I'm really liking about Greymoor is I do like the antiquity system, even though it becomes very monotonous and boring after a while. But I do like it. I like the reward system for it. I like it that it's a more of a treasure hunter type thing. Like, it gives people a reason to go to different zones and really explore them, really dive into them, fight world bosses, fight delve monsters, take on enemies, take on different things that you might have skipped in the past, but come back and now do them, because you're going to get rewarded with a chance of getting these things that you can go look for in these excavation and scrying stuff, which is, like you said, that's more like a mini game. But at the same time, it's a really interesting take on the game and treasure hunting. And I really do kind of like it. The other thing is, I do like the changes to Vampire, even though there's positive and negative. But I'm one of those people that believe that with every positive, like major positive, there's always going to be a drastic negative that you have to play off of. And that idea that vampires are super strong, but also have these underlying problems that can play on you really badly is what makes it that much better and makes it that much more exciting to play. And again, I don't know how many vampires I've ran across in the Greymoor content, like players, but I've come across several different types. I've played with elf ones, I've played with human ones, I've played with Breton ones, Argonian vampires, and it's not that I'm necessarily grouping up with these people, but we might be in the same area, working on the same quest and working side by side through it, and just seeing how everyone's taking these different perspectives with their characters and playing them. Like the other day, I ran across this person who was running a Resto Staff two-handed sword build. It was something I haven't seen in a while, but they were a vampire. And it was really cool to see them work through that and then be a Templar on top of it. It was just like this really interesting combination of skill, player ability, and in combination with the location and the environment we were fighting, and the different enemies we were fighting, because we were in this vampire lair place, and he's like just blasting through them, and I'm like, holy cow, this guy's like doing way more, you know, like about the same kind of damage as I am when I'm on my dual swords now. Which, yes, I did change over to dual swords on my main character from two-handed, just for the purpose of playing through Greymoor. I wanted to try something different. But yeah, so I've really been enjoying a lot of Greymoor. A lot of the story, a lot of the content. I'm actually getting ready to turn one of my characters into a werewolf. Hopefully today. I was hoping today. But we'll have to see. And then I was gonna like deck them out for this like new build idea I have for a werewolf barbarian type character. And it actually, when I play tested it on PTS, it was really like indestructible. Like this thing could not die no matter how much the game threw at me. Like this guy just kept pouring through. I went through Maelstrom Arena on both normal and veteran. I went and soloed the Dragonstar Arena with it, and this, I mean, when I say solo Dragonstar Arena, I don't mean veteran mode, I mean normal mode. And even on normal mode, to solo that is not easy. But it was a lot of fun to try it out and to see how far I could get. I think I made it to like levels, like section 7 of the Dragonstar, and I was like, God, this is taking forever. It was taking forever, but at the same time, it was like going by really fast because of how much damage this character would deal. Like literally just shredding through enemies like it was nothing. And it's really powerful. So I will be releasing that build soon, and I will also be releasing the new upgraded Knight, and I'm changing it from the Avenger. I'm just going to call it the Knight Templar build, and it is going to be, basically, it's a melee paladin. So it's a heavy armor melee paladin that is more geared towards DPS and survivability. So it's a really good build for solo play. It's a really good build for group play. If you're having trouble getting through challenging group content, it's a really good build for that because it gives you really good survivability. And not only can it do that, but it can also off-tank in trials in both normal and veteran modes. So it's really good either way. But that's pretty much it for this video, guys. I know I was supposed to be covering this new Update 26 thing and all that, but I did want to talk a little bit about some other stuff, give you my thoughts and opinions on it. You know, on these other things that have come to the game. I do plan on doing some other, a more in-depth video talking about Greymoor and my thoughts and opinions on it at a later date. I want to get more through that story. I want to finish it before I do that. So, don't know how far along I am, but I can tell you I've never been so involved in one of the game's stories before, besides Somerset and Morrowind, and then the main campaign for the Aldemary Dominion. Daggerfall Covenant was really good, and so was Ebonheart Pact, the storylines, but the ones that always grab my attention the most are the ones I just lined out. Aldemary Dominion, because I'm a big fan of like Wood Elves and Dark Elves, or Wood Elves, High Elves, and the Khajiit, and learning about their lore and history in those storylines. And then moving into Morrowind. Morrowind was like the first major game of its type. It's what brought us to this where we're at now with Elder Scrolls, and so it was a really cool game. And then you had Oblivion, which was good, but it wasn't the same as Morrowind. And Skyrim, which was good, but not the same. And I'm just, like I said, I'm really enjoying the different aspects of story, character development, that kind of thing. I love how they keep bringing back old characters and incorporating them into the new stories, like Rigert, the Explorer, brother and sister Dark Elves, bringing back the vampires from the Rivenspire storyline, all these different things. And it's been, it not only has it been fascinating, but it's been amazing to experience. So, but that's pretty much it for the video. Again, I will go over my own thoughts and opinions of Greymoor later. But for now, I hope that was enough. And that's it for the video, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, you guys know what's coming next. Go ahead and hit that like button. If you guys want to see more videos by me, you can subscribe. Other than that, I want to thank you all for watching. Until next time, have a wonderful day. And this guy might see you in game. Bye.